I'm Deborah. I'm an expat coach and I help people prepare for a move abroad and adjust once they're there. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 4 ideas, tips, things to think about when you're considering about the timing of the move abroad. So many times we think about moving and there are a lot of different factors that make it difficult to make this decision. So this video hopefully will help you tap into that and clarify these issues. The first thing is, if you have school-aged kids, timing might be an issue regarding schools. So things you need to consider are the school calendar and when the school year starts. So depending on which hemisphere you're going to and you are right now, there will be different times because summer is the opposite in one place and another. So really do your research about when school starts, when school ends, any holidays in the middle. And even within the same hemisphere, even within Europe, for example, there are different times that school starts. So it might be late August, might be mid-September. So check that out so you can really plan considering this timing. Because parents, one of the first things parents think about when they're moving abroad is their kids and school. Another thing has to do with waiting lists. So some schools might have waiting lists. Consider that. So really do your research in advance so you can have a very good idea, about the educational landscape. How does private schooling work? How does public schooling work? The advantages and disadvantages of each one. And how soon you have to enroll and how the tuition is paid. And that leads me to the second part of this sharing these tips, which has to do with finances. How are your finances in terms of moving abroad? I mentioned school, which typically is a very big chunk of our budget if it's private. So really think about, do you have what it takes financially to make this move? Now, if you're moving within a corporation, many of these issues, financial issues, will be taken care of by the company. But if you're moving abroad on your own, it's up to you to decide and to analyze and to make these decisions ultimately. Now, the other tip that I wanted to share is about visa applications. If you have to apply for a visa, really do the research about how to go about understanding what are the requirements, and probably there will be financial requirements, so that ties in to the previous tip. What are the timings typically involved in terms of getting things ready, applying, waiting for the response? Can the spouse work or not work depending on the type of visa? So get that clear so you can put on a timeline and understand what your timing is like. Now, that said, ideally, you want to start thinking about the move with the end in mind. And what do I mean by that is the first thing to do, timing-wise, is to pinpoint a date. Like, when do I want to have moved? Now, this, of course, is dynamic, and it might pan out like that. It might not pan out. But the thing is that if you are always putting the responsibility of moving abroad and things working out to other factors that are not in your control, it can feel very helpless, very helpless process. Like many of my clients say, oh, I don't know when I'm only moving when it depends on the visa. Yes, it depends on the visa and depends on other things. But the more you position yourself internally in terms of mindsets, like I want to be there on X date, then you work backwards and you reverse engineer all of these steps that I talked about to see if that date is feasible or not. If it's not, how much more time do you need? A month, 2 months, a year? So you can think about things in a more systematic way than just all these random pieces. That's typically how it feels when we don't ground things. Now, one final pro tip is that it really is crucial to do the inner work and to understand if this specific move abroad is aligned with your life goals, with your long-term goals for yourself and your family. Because all of these practicalities, they are crucial, but they are secondary depending on if this move itself makes sense in the grander scheme of your life. So this is, in this video, I shared some ideas to think about when you are contemplating a move abroad and considering the aspect of timing. If this made sense to you, if this resonated, feel free to grab my free international relocation starter course. It's a free 4-lesson mini course. All the links to link to that is in the description box. You can always get in touch with me as well. I have the link to my calendar in the description box, so feel free to get in touch. And before I go, I want to remind you to comment, to like, and to subscribe, all that good stuff, so more and more people can have access to this information. So I'll see you next time. Bye.